Hello, this week's topic of conversation is quite esoteric, and this is a little rabbit hole that I've been going down recently, and it was really interesting what came up at a talk that I did yesterday. I did a talk at the Tarot Fair in Brighton. I was talking about the 4 elements of tarot, and in particularly I was talking about water and how water is at the very core of what fuels us. In tarot, we link emotion and feeling and our intuitive connection. We package it up into the element of water. And all too often we see this as just being symbolic. It's just a thing. But why? Why water? And that's the question that's been really interesting me over the last couple of months. Why water? As I have started to sort of research this a little bit more, some interesting things have come up. So the idea that the 5 cards from the High Priestess to the Lovers in my book and in my work are linked into the Suit of Cups. So they are ruled by the element of water. So we can track all of those cards into the element of water, into our emotions, into our feeling. But how does it relate to our intuition? Why is it there? Why have we linked this into the intuitive sense that we are using when we use tarot? Well, at the beginning of this 5-card run, we have the High Priestess, don't we? Who we see as being the repository of our consciousness. So the repository of our subconscious and the repository of our superconscious. She is right at the beginning of the Major Arcana suit, which is linked to the element of water. So what if that's where it all starts? What if water and consciousness are absolutely at the core of everything? And this is something that I have found really, really interesting. And I was talking about this in my talk, and one of the ladies mentioned somebody called Veda Austin, who has been doing work on water and consciousness, and saying that what I've been saying and Veda's work are really in alignment. I decided that I would perhaps put this to the test. Veda does work with water in crystal form, exploring how water responds to different stimuli in terms of crystal images. Well, I thought, well, why don't I do what I do? And through a tarot reading, talk to the energy of water as a consciousness and see what it has to say. Now, this is not going to be a particularly long reading, but I thought it would be an interesting experiment. And so I did that experiment, and I thought it would be interesting to share the results of that with you. So what I'm going to be doing in the cards that come up, I'm going to be giving you what I think the cards are saying from the voice of water. So this is what I do when I do a reading. When I do a reading for a client, I'm not just reading the meanings of the cards. What I'm doing is I'm giving voice to them in the reading. Every card has a voice. Every card wants to say something. My job as the reader is to give that card its voice in the context of the reading. So what I'm going to do in this reading is give water its voice in the context of the reading. So the first thing I thought I'd ask is, are you there? Is there a consciousness that I can talk to? And if so, who are you? And the card that I drew was the Hermit. So the Hermit is quite a multifaceted card to talk about, because first of all, it says, I am your own wisdom. I am within. But it also talks about it being alone. I am of myself. I am the way. And I find my way in the dark. Now, it's quite interesting because when we think about water across the world, all of water is linked across the world. There is this thing called the world ocean. So even though we have different ocean basins around the world, they are all actually linked, and water finds its way. It finds its way through the dark. And I think that's quite interesting because the life code deck shows the hermit going into the mountain. And so water always finds its way, and it always knows the way through every crack. It will always find its way. It also tells us that I am the wisdom within. I love that. I'm the wisdom within. What a lovely answer. Then I asked, if you are conscious, how would you describe yourself as part of the tarot language? What card would describe you? And we have the King of Cups, which is quite ironic. The King of Water. I am the King of Water because I am the ruler. I am the boss. I have complete control of feeling, of emotion, of consciousness. I understand everything. King of Cups it is. So I said, so how do you see your purpose? How do you identify your own consciousness, your own sense of yourself? The Magician. So the Magician is where we are the creative source. We are action. It is through us things are made. It is through me things are created. So water is saying, I am the source of creation. I am the thing that makes things real. It is through me things are created. Now, when we think about our origin story, when we think about where we came from, we were fish. When we are in embryonic form, we have pharyngeal gills and a tail. We are fish. We look like fish. And then what happens? Our DNA changes us and gives those gills, makes those gills into a mouth and a jaw. And in fish, it turns it into actual gills, but we are no different at that point in our earliest stage of development from fish. Our fish tail turns into a coccyx, and in fish it turns into a fish tail. In the womb, amniotic fluid is only, I'm sure I've got this right, 3% less salty than the actual ocean. And there are lots of scientists who have studied this who think that amniotic fluid is much closer to the makeup of the primordial ocean than we know. So when we are developing in the womb, we are literally making the journey from fish to land creature in 9 months. We are taking our evolutionary journey in like double quick time. We are coming from the water. We are being born from the water again and again and again. So what if the water was the source of our consciousness? And then we are born from our mother. In tarot, we have that process. We have the consciousness, and then we have us being born from the Empress. And the Empress is being the source of all creation. So water is saying that that's what it is. It is the source of all creation. We are, after all, when we're born, 90% water. As we get older, not so much. We dry out a little bit. But nevertheless, even as we get old, we're still probably 60% water, 75% water. The older we get, the less water we have within us. So then I asked the water how it felt about the fact that it had created humans. And the card that I got was the world. We are part of the world, but also we were successful. It was almost quite proud. And I said, well, how are we a success? I mean, we do water itself a lot of damage, for sure. And what it gave me was the Queen of Swords. Well, that's tough love, isn't it? The Queen of Swords, though, also, you see, talks about strategy, logic, the ability to apply logic to a situation, and its logic within. So it's a queen energy. So it's an internalized energy. So we have the ability to be logical, to think strategically. So we're not just conscious, we are logical. Our brains are able to disseminate between feeling and right and wrong. We have a complex brain. We can communicate. This is part of the suit of swords. Our communication is incredibly rich and diverse. Now, of course, lots of other animals have very complex forms of communication, probably many of which we don't even understand. But we are very logical and very strategic creatures. So water is quite proud of its creation. So I asked it, well, how do you feel about the fact that we're causing you such pain, or we're causing you such problems? And what I got is the Page of Pentacles. Well, you're just learning, aren't you? You're still students. You're just practicing. You're just doing things for the experience. You're learning. It's a page. You're future curious. And I asked, how do you see humanity right now? How do you see us? And it gave me the 9 of Wands. Well, you're tired, aren't you? And you're exhausted, and you don't know what's next. And you're wary of what's to come. You've taken a kicking. You are taking a kicking. You're getting prepared for what could be the 10. You're getting prepared for overload. Very interesting. So I said, okay, how do you feel about what we're doing so far? And that's when it started to get serious. That's when it gave me the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is where, well, you know, this is as bad as it needs to get. I am really feeling upset with this. Then what happened was, then we had a few cards laid out in a line, which was justice, which is there are consequences here. And then the Wheel of Fortune, which is we're coming to a turning point and all bets are off now. And I said, why are all bets off? And then it gave me the 5 of Wands, because there are too many conflicting elements, because you are conflicted as a species, because it's not just about survival. There are other things that you want. You are conflicted within yourselves. So I said, so can I just ask about water and our memory, who we are in this mix, and what is our relationship with you? As how do you see our relationship? And it gave me the 10 of Cups, which is love and family. We are connected. We love each other. We're probably misbehaving, but we love each other. 10 of Cups is where we are bonded. But of course, the 10 of Cups also says that we're at a 10. So if we want to keep that 10 of Cups going, we're going to have to bring new love into the situation, right? We're going to have to bring new consciousness, new heart into the situation. The 10 is as far as it's going to go. So this was a really, really interesting experiment. And I thought I'd share it with you, just so you can let me know what you think. I've given you the cards that I drew. Let me know your thoughts on that reading, and let me know your thoughts on this idea of water itself being consciousness. And for me, it makes such perfect sense within the philosophy of tarot and what tarot tells us about life and how things work. If you enjoy these conversations, do like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you soon. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.